For 3 centuries, the Vortak Empire had carved a path of destruction across the galaxy. Their massive obsidian warships, each the size of a small moon, cast shadows over entire star systems as they harvested resources and enslaved civilizations. The crystalline beings thrived on fear and submission, their telepathic abilities allowing them to project terror directly into the minds of their victims. The Galactic Council had tried everything. The peaceful Zenari offered diplomatic solutions, only to watch their homeworld burn. The warrior clans of Rigel 7 fought valiantly but were crushed beneath the Empire's superior technology. The ancient machine minds of the Nexus Collective calculated 1,000 battle strategies, all ending in defeat. One by one, proud civilizations fell to their knees before the Vortak. Then the Empire encountered a small, blue-green world in an unremarkable spiral arm. The inhabitants called it Earth and themselves humans. The Vortak scouts reported back with amusement. These creatures had barely achieved faster-than-light travel. Their weapons were primitive projectile systems, and they showed no telepathic resistance whatsoever. Admiral Zerath, the Empire's most feared commander, deployed only a single harvester fleet. It should have been more than sufficient to break these humans in a matter of days. The first assault began at dawn over Earth's largest cities. Vortak ships descended through the atmosphere, their terror-inducing psychic waves rolling ahead of them like invisible tsunamis. Across the planet, people should have collapsed in screaming panic, their minds shattered by manufactured nightmares. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a neuroscientist in New York, felt the alien fear trying to claw into her thoughts. But instead of surrendering, she gritted her teeth and muttered, "Not today." Around her, others did the same. A construction worker in Tokyo shouted back at the ships in defiance. A teacher in Lagos gathered her students and sang songs of courage. A farmer in rural Nebraska simply continued plowing his field, refusing to acknowledge the terror above. The humans, it seemed, were uniquely stubborn. This puzzled Admiral Zerath. His psychic warfare had never failed before. He intensified the mental assault, pouring waves of existential dread across the planet. But the humans responded in ways no species ever had. They got angry. Captain James Rodriguez of the Earth Defense Force received reports from across the globe. Instead of surrender, his commanders reported mass mobilization. Factories that had produced consumer goods were retooling to manufacture weapons. Scientists were sharing research at unprecedented speeds. Nations that had been enemies for generations were suddenly coordinating joint operations. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we're receiving a message from the Galactic Council. They're confused. They want to know why we haven't surrendered yet." Rodriguez stared at the alien ships filling his screen. "Send them back a message. Tell them we're just getting started." The human response defied every military doctrine the galaxy had ever known. Instead of centralized command structures that could be decapitated, they fought as a distributed network. When the Vortak destroyed military bases, civilian guerrilla cells emerged. When they targeted governments, local communities organized themselves. When they struck at industrial centers, humans improvised weapons from farm equipment and mining tools. But it was the psychological warfare that truly baffled the Empire. Humans broadcast their own messages back at the Vortak ships, not pleas for mercy, but taunts and challenges. They played music at maximum volume, held rallies in the face of orbital bombardment, and somehow turned their fear into fury. Admiral Zerath found himself losing ships to tactics that made no logical sense. Human pilots would ram their primitive fighters into Vortak vessels in suicide attacks. Ground forces would continue fighting even when defeat was mathematically certain. Most disturbing of all, their resistance was growing stronger, not weaker. After 3 months of brutal fighting, the unthinkable happened. The humans, supported by a coalition of previously conquered worlds inspired by their example, forced the Vortak to retreat from Earth's solar system. As the Obsidian ships limped away into hyperspace, Admiral Zerath sent one final transmission to the Galactic Council. Classification updated. Species designation: human. Threat level extreme. Recommendation: avoid at all costs. The age of Vortak terror was ending. The age of human defiance had begun.